Okay, well first I just want to say welcome to the answer video for the question and answer session I said that I would have. First off, I wanted, before I get to answering the questions that were asked, I just want to say I want to thank everyone who took the time to ask a question. Everyone who actually sat there and thought of something and then had the courage to post it. Even if I don't answer your question, you can be assured that I did read it and I answered it in my head, either with a laugh or a scoff or a chuckle, if it didn't outright make me frown and cry. But yeah, I thank everyone for their questions, everyone for their comments, everyone who's been commenting through all of the 1,000 videos that I've uploaded, 1,000 plus now. You guys are the reasons why I continue to do this. I would always play games like I do. I would always be doing what I do, game-wise, but I wouldn't always be pressing record and encoding it and uploading it if it wasn't for you guys commenting and interacting, giving me advice, telling me when I suck, and when I do something that works. I appreciate all of that, and that's why I'll continue to do this. As long as people enjoy it, I think it's something worthwhile, I guess. So yes, thanks to everyone who continues to encourage this extremely wasteful behavior. It's such a time waster to everyone. You should be ashamed of yourselves for, watching 40-minute long videos every day of somebody being a complete idiot in a video game. But yeah, thank you. Thanks to everyone. And you might notice in the background there's going to be a little bit of Space Station 13 going on while I answer these questions. There's not going to be any continuity. I'm not going to be telling you who the characters are, who the actors are, what's going on in chat very often. It's not really important. I'm not going to be paying a lot of attention to it. But it's kind of something fun to have in the background. Kind of like a screensaver. Just something, yeah, something to watch and laugh at. Because you know that some of these people are just having a whole heaping plate full of fun while we're sitting here being a little bit serious for a while. There's genetics. I will explain that if you don't know. That's genetics, and then all the lights just blew out in it. But yeah, let's get to the questions. Actually, hang on. I need to find someone to observe. Is anyone doing anything with Noam Chomsky? Those assholes still have him locked up in the trash can. Let's see, Jack Bauer. He's apparently running around the station. There he is. We'll keep the camera on him. There is 8 minutes until the escape shuttle arrives, so hopefully he does something interesting. And Ryder Eliza is the chaplain there. So yeah, let's get to the first question here. This is by I Am Lick. Will you do a playthrough when you're evil, like an RPG game where you can choose if you want to be evil or good, like Neverwinter Nights 2? Well, I don't really know. You might have noticed that I normally tend to play, I guess they'd probably be classified as good characters. I tend to think they're a little bit more chaotic neutral. I don't really like how most games portray good and evil. It's normally, I don't know, so black and white, so straightforward, the way they'll portray either side, that I just don't like to do the good or evil choices. Like an evil character in Fallout, it's just, it's not really my type of evil that I would prefer to be if I could roleplay. I haven't seen a good system that has a good evil character that I would really enjoy. They all make me come off feeling cheap, kind of like a douchebag, and not really just a mean person or an evil person, just a mean person, like a bully. I want to see some epic evilness, some real evilness, not this, I don't know, Disney-fied after-school special mean evilness that storylines have going on. So yeah, I don't know if I'll ever do a straight-out evil character like a game, like those games have. Probably not. Mr. Just for the Kill. This is his question. What's your real name? John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. That's my name. You can Google it if you want. I'm sure you can find more information there. Rooster DF. Ever considered making a Let's Play of ADOM? That's Ancient Domains of Mystery. Yes, I have. And by now you probably have seen that little, I think 40-minute long video that I posted where I was stumbling through it, posted it in the roguelike Mega Mix. Wasn't very good at the game then, I'm still not very good at the game now. But yes, I definitely, I have considered and I am considering doing a Let's Play of ADOM at some point. I don't know when, it'll probably be sometime far in the future. I don't know how long this whole Let's Play thing will last. You know, it could always be deemed against YouTube rules tomorrow. I'm sure it would cause a lot of outrage, but you never know how long these things will last. But yes, at some point in the future, long-term plans are... I'll get to it eventually. There's only so many roguelikes out there that are actually worth Let's Playing, in my opinion. And it is most certainly one of them. So yeah, I will be getting to it. Ancient Tuxedo Penguin asks, are you on the ball? The 8-ball? The basketball? I don't know. I'd say I'm on the ball most of the times when I'm recording, but I could be wrong. Joked 501. Will you be doing the 28 drinks later challenge on Dwarf Fortress? No. For one, I don't know what it is. For two, it sounds like a drinking challenge, and I don't like drinking, so I don't think I would enjoy playing Dwarf Fortress drunk. It seems like it would be pretty futile to try it. I'd probably end up forgetting to do everything, stumbling over the keys, end up leaving the game paused until I fell asleep at my keyboard drooling all over it, and the dwarfs would never get anything done. Let's see. Rocco the Beast, am I your best friend? No, Rocco, you're not. I don't have best friends. Best friends, I've found, are a dangerous thing to have. Let's see. Calification. I notice that sometimes you have an accent that sounds Slavic, but you usually sound Texan. Is that a stylistic thing, or is it like a genuine language thing? Honestly, I don't know. I assume that it just is a language thing, because I don't ever really try to switch between accents. I believe it just happens depending on what other influences are around at the time. Whenever I play Stalker, considering the fact I'm surrounded by that type of accent, that's the accent that I normally pick up. Consider it a curse from whenever I was not a telemarketer, but a phone technician. Holy crap, something just blew up. But yeah, whenever I was a phone technician and doing customer service, I picked up a lot of different accents from all around the world. And I find myself switching between a few of them every now and then. It's not something I do on purpose normally. So yeah, it is what it is. Slaxer, but who was phone? I believe the banana was the phone. Furry Goose, will you ever do a vlog? No. Never, ever, ever, and if I do, it will in no way be attached to this channel. None of you will ever know about it unless you stumble across it and say, hey, wait a minute, I recognize that voice. Then you might notice it. But no, actually, I have no plans to ever do a video log. I don't even know what I would do a video log over. I think that my what is a video log? I was gonna say Let's Play is kind of a video log, isn't it? I mean, I'm making a video log of my journey and adventure through the trials of video gaming. So yeah, I don't know. No video logs in the sense of me putting a webcam on myself and sitting here in my chair rocking back and forth while I type and talk to you guys. No, I don't think so. What is your favorite vacation land? From Tummy 110. My favorite vacation land? Probably Oregon or Washington, up along the coastline, in the forests. I really like that countryside. I think it'd be a great place to retire. Actually, hell, I'd live there if I could right now. Unfortunately, I cannot. I'm stuck like 1,000 miles away or something. Yes, that's my favorite vacation place. It's just so peaceful, serene. It seems like you're so far away from everyone. I love that place. So let's see. My question is, will you ever redo X3 Terran Conflict? From Zachariah Meister. Yes, I plan to redo X3 at some point in the future. I just don't know when. I want to get a lot better at it than I am. I mean, I've pumped more hours into that game than any other game on my Steam list, besides maybe Arma 2. And I still don't feel like I'm good enough at it. Um, Plus, on the last two playlists I tried to do of it, I ended up putting way too many mods on there, and I ended up breaking some things. I ended up completely unbalancing the second playlist with these huge gunships that could not be killed. I thought they would be slow and vulnerable, but still, you know, a little bit defensible and hefty. Instead, they were just slow and vulnerable death machines that pretty much killed all my desire to run the playlist because I had no way to get rid of them. I couldn't blow them up legitly in a battle. I couldn't lose them honestly. So they just kind of killed my drive to continue. Plus a couple of other bugs that cropped up in the series due to me not knowing exactly what the hell I'm doing. It's not... Well, it's an easy game to mod, but at the same time it has... If you're not careful, you can run into lots of conflicts that will break things and make it quite a bitch to figure out what you broke until you've already pumped 20 to 30 hours into the game. And I don't normally have that much time. I normally just throw a bunch of mods together and then test it for a little bit and then jump in the game with you guys. Well, this round's about over with. 2 minutes left. A couple of people have made it onto the shuttle here. Let's see. We've got Matthew Jackson, Nathaniel McKilling-a-lot, and Jack Bauer on there, along with Cyborg McFlameskates. Cyborg, too fast to read, 54. Let's see, what's the next question? The Icelandic dictator. Why are you so good at telling stories and saying stuff from the top of your head? I actually don't think I am. I'm still surprised and amazed that you guys enjoy this crap. A lot of times whenever I say stuff story-wise, trying to improv and think of stuff, I think that I've completely butchered it. That's why I was so hesitant to even get into Let's Playing, because I feel like the stuff I say is just uninteresting. I don't know, I don't think it's that good. I definitely think it could be better if I knew what I was doing, if I had a better vocabulary, if I studied and trained a little bit more. I need to go back. I think one of the things that would help my storytelling abilities is if I went and read more fables, like Aesop's fables, more Winnie the Pooh stories. That is how you get good at storytelling. Read. Read what other authors have wrote before you. Start picking up on the cliche twists and story things, whatever they're called. I don't even know what they're called, but yeah, story mechanics that are used. If there's only so many storytelling mechanics out there, in my opinion, that I've noticed anyways. And yeah, he's died. I mean, you do start to run across things that are just they're used all over the place. And it's not like anyone owns a copyright to them. You just have to learn how to use them in the stories that you're seeing with your own eyes at the time. So the Space Yetis win this one, apparently. Good job, Space Yetis. Space Yetis. But yeah, don't play video games looking for good stories, looking for twists. Well, I guess, yeah, actually do play video games if you want to look for the twists and storytelling mechanics that are constantly used, because they're normally not hidden very well. Go play something like Dragon Age or Mass Effect. You'll see lots of stuff you can learn to use. Read Mark Twain, that's always good. Goosebumps. There's lots of stuff you can read and learn. There's been a path blazed before you by people far more capable than you or me or anyone else out there will ever be. So just follow in their footsteps, I guess. And I'm going to stop the recording and come back whenever the next round starts. I'm going to take a break, get a drink, and then we'll keep answering questions. Congratulations to everyone who did not get ate by a Yeti, which probably wasn't very many. Okay, let's start with the second answer video here then. Still got Space Station 13 in the background running. Probably going to be switching between the guard, Osama bin Laden here, and the clown, Hella Jeff, as we go through this video. And we'll see what happens. So let's see. What question was I on? I think the next question on the list was from TPS Survivor. Question, where are you from? I am from the American Midwest. It's where I lived most of my life, but I've traveled all around the country. And I actually consider that I grew up on the internet. Because I spent, as ridiculous and probably as sad as it sounds, I've spent the majority of my life, it seems like, on the internet. Whereas most people would go out to the club or go out to friends' houses and go out and party and get their culture that way, I spent the majority of my free time and my fun time on the internet, just talking to people from all over the world. So I'm from the American Midwest, but I actually consider myself to be raised by the world, I guess. From the world that's on the internet, which is still a very small percentage of the world, I guess. Yeah. But you get my drift. Next question. The Doom Potato. Will you ever do LCS? Maybe. I might get around to Let's Playing it. If I do, it won't be a serious one where I try to switch everything to Elite Liberal and win the game that way. It'll most likely be a small squad-based scenario where I only have a few operatives and we try to operate until we're eventually gunned down or die in a car chase or something like that. There is at least one LCS two LCS playthroughs that I extremely enjoy. One's by Grimmeth and one's by Jeff. After watching theirs, I just honestly, I don't know if I'll ever or when I'll get around to doing it. Theirs have sated me and filled me for the time being, so I don't have much desire to LP Liberal Crime Squad anytime soon, at least. Not counting Dwarf Fortress, which roguelike you enjoyed playing the most? Besides Dwarf Fortress, there isn't really another one that I've enjoyed playing the most. Dwarf Fortress obviously is my favorite roguelike, even though is it really a roguelike? It's more than a roguelike at this point, isn't it? It's a story generator, that's what it is. It's a masterpiece, it's an artifact, it's it's beautiful. But no, there's no other roguelike that I've enjoyed playing that I could really comment on. Caves of Qud is great in its own right. Ancient Domains of Mystery is great. Ivan has something to offer. Rogue Survivor has something to offer. It really just depends what mood I'm in. I'm going to be using that answer a lot, but I really don't have favorites. Whenever someone says, what's your favorite movie, what's your favorite book, what's your favorite, I don't really have favorites. I have moods, I have things that I'll jump between, but I don't really have a favorite per se. Not overall, anyways. Question, do you have a bit of Russian in you? Because you sound like it. Nope. Only when I'm drinking, which doesn't happen very often. Let's see. And this is a question from Frez Morty. Are you autistic? No, but I do appreciate the compliment. I've been called... no, I could be called much worse than that. There's, yeah, I don't know. I'm not autistic. I could probably be labeled autistic or something, depending on which doctor I go to and what mood they're in and who's funding them. I could probably be labeled all types of things if I went in and tried to be labeled anything. I mean, what if I went in and started LPing my doctor's experience to the psychologist or to the doctor? They would probably think I was quite crazy. So yeah, I don't know. I am what I am. I don't know if it's autistic or bipolar or just a man-child or absolutely insane. I am what I am. What languages besides English can you speak? From M. Vaser. Well, I can speak Leet. I can speak Old Timeth, Englisheth, these and thou'ts, my friendeth. I speak regular broken English and English from time to time. It looks like Osama bin Laden just got flame-bombed by somebody. Who? By Johnny Hall. Congratulations, Johnny. Even though you caught the brunt of the fire, it appears. Let's see. And the next question deals with language too. Why do you always add T to the end of across? Why do I say across? I don't know. I honestly don't. Again, a lot of my speech impediments are either natural or something quite ridiculous that I picked up in customer service. I mean, whenever you're spending 8 to 10 hours a day on the phone with people from all around the country, you're going to hear every word in the English language pronounced at least 5 different ways. So at some point my brain just finally said, forget it, I don't know which way is right, I don't know which way is correct. It was going to bug me every time I heard someone pronounce something wrong. I mean, I don't know, the way words are pronounced seem to always change. Somehow I picked up across instead of across. It's just a curse, I don't know. Your commentaries are so immersive. Did you ever consider becoming a writer? By Enva Dern. I did consider becoming a writer, and then I realized that I didn't have the talent for it. The people I wanted to write, my idols, someone like Stephen King, I realized that I would never even come close to them, so maybe as dumb as it sounds, I never went into writing. I never had fun writing, so I didn't really want to do that. I didn't think I would ever make any money out of it, so I didn't want to go into writing for that either. I mean, I never had fun sitting down and writing pages and pages of story, trying to come up with the next little sentence that describes what they're doing in the process of it all. I was never good at writing filler on essays in school. I always wanted to be concise and get to the point and get things done, so I never actually thought that I would be a good writer if I even tried it. So yeah, I thought about it and then realized it probably wasn't for me because I didn't have the knack for it. But I would have liked to have been. If I probably would have been more dedicated. I would have had to spend a lot more time in the library and studying the English language and stuff like that, I imagine. Stuff that I never did. What is your favorite alcoholic drink? Asked by Skeven. Probably a Starry Night. I really don't have favorite drinks at all. I've never found a drink that I actually would consider myself enjoying just drinking it. I don't enjoy the feeling of being drunk either. So I don't really have anything favorite that deals with alcohol unless it's like an alcohol rub, a disinfectant or something. Those are always handy to have around. Let's see. Which country apart from your native country would you most like to visit? It's a good question. I'd like to visit New Zealand. I'd like to see the place where, say, The Hobbit was filmed. I think that's a beautiful countryside. I would like to see it. I don't really have too many countries I would like to visit and travel to. Antarctica, even though that's not a country, I would love to go down there, see the, does Antarctica, do they have the Aurora Borealis, or is that just a northern hemisphere thing? I'm not entirely sure, but I would love to go someplace far enough north that I could see the lights. I think they're called the Northern Lights, actually, so maybe the South Pole doesn't have those lights. But yeah, I would love to go someplace where I could see that. Maybe far north Canada, far north Russia, something like that. Just someplace far away and remote. That's where I would like to go. Let's see. What exactly were you saying to your dog on the New Vegas video before you clipped it? I wasn't really saying anything to my dog. I was kind of, I don't really know, scatting, I guess, to my dog. Kind of like the scat man. I mean, you can't speak to animals, but you can definitely use a tone in your voice to communicate with them. They understand when you're being loving and when you're being mean and angry and when they're being punished. So I was just babying my dog. If you've ever had a pet that you've really cared about, maybe you've done the same thing. Or not. Maybe you will whenever you have babies or something. If you ever, cursed enough to have children. Let's see. What are your top 3 movies? From Jester 3543. I don't know. I don't really have favorite movies again. I don't have top 3s. I don't have a top list really. It would depend what mood I'm in. I mean, I've seen so many movies at this point, I just don't think it would be fair to say that, one's my favorite or that I have a top anything. Now, if you said war movies, that would be a criteria I might be able to answer. If you said romance movies, um, stuff like that, crybaby movies, baller movies, stuff like that, I could probably answer those questions, but I don't have a top 3 movie list anywhere, an overall list. A question from Woofy D. If I added you on Skype, would you accept it? No. I don't accept random friend requests anywhere. If I don't send you my contact information personally, then I will not accept it. I don't even have Skype that I actively use. The only reason I would use it would be to contact somebody who requested it. I just don't use instant messaging programs very often. I don't use chat programs. I'm an extremely antisocial son of a bitch, if you haven't guessed it already. So no, I would not accept it. No offense to you. I just wouldn't want to feel... I would feel obligated if I had you on a friends list. Obligated to do something. What? I don't know, but I wouldn't know. Are you going to do more Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode? From Jake Dog. Yeah. Adventure Mode is what happens between fortresses. I know I've said this before. I'm probably going to say it again, but... I mean, at some point, my Dwarf Fortress playlists are going to turn into huge, huge projects. We'll be spending hours and hours in adventure mode, wandering the countryside, doing quests, doing stuff like that, and then we'll go build a fortress for the Empire, and then when that fortress falls or fails, we'll jump back into adventure mode, and we'll just go back and forth from adventure mode and then into fortress mode. And that's how my fortress and adventure mode will work in the future with Dwarf Fortress. That's how it's working right now on my playlists. I would like to, at some point, when Dwarf Fortress gets more stable, when it's not constantly being updated and having new features added to it, so this is really far in the future, I would like to have just one world that we can settle in and just start making history in that world. Because Dwarf Fortress is a game about history. It's a game about legends and and your actions in the world. And I can't wait for the future of Dwarf Fortress, for the army arc, for everything that Toady has planned and seems to be capable of delivering on, which is even better. So yes, there will be more adventure mode in the fortress. Let's see. What is love? Baby Don't Hurt Me from Calrog Man. Love is what it is. It's a bitch. That's what love is. It's a bitch. Will we by any chance get to see you in a video of yours by Umbrella Corp? Probably not. Nope. No. I just don't think so. I don't have any desire to do a ridiculous picture-in-picture let's play video thing. I don't think it'd be interesting to see me sitting there slumped over my desk, my face glued to the screen, me talking into my microphone. No. You'll never see me. The closest you'll get to seeing me is character creation. Some of my characters will be quite close to the way I look. Others, like Paige, for instance, will be quite far away from what I look like. What was the biggest show-off structure that you ever built in Dwarf Fortress, and could you show us? I think the biggest thing I've ever built in Dwarf Fortress was the vault, Bittenlabor, the arena, the water structure. That entire compound was probably the biggest thing I've ever built in Dwarf Fortress. I'm by no means an expert in Dwarf Fortress. I haven't been playing it for as long as some of you guys have. Most of the stuff that I've done in Dwarf Fortress, I've recorded and shown you guys. Before I got into actually Let's Playing it, I had been playing it for about 3 or 4 months. I really didn't know what I was doing. And then about a month before I started Let's Playing, I saw Jeff doing adventure mode, and that got me really interested in adventure mode, because he was taking people through on adventures. He was doing a lot of fun things, a lot of fun storytelling. It felt like for the first time that I was actually there with somebody else playing another video game, like I used to do with my friends and my friends used to do with me. It was great to actually have that experience once again. Yeah, the biggest structure I've ever built in Dwarf Fortress, by far, bit and labor in the arena and the rain system. Even though I didn't get to use it nearly as much as I wanted to, it's there. It's in the playlist. Go watch it. That's my most glorious moment, my most glorious storytelling, as far as I'm concerned. The entire bit and labor playlist is probably the most favorite storytelling that I've done in any of my playlists by far. Just the way it all came together. The way it all seemed to fit. Even the name was random, but it still seems to fit the overall theme of the place. I just absolutely love how all of the details of that place came together. It was the first, well, not the first time, but probably only the second or third time I'd ever actually made a huge fortress. Most of my fortresses never even got close to that big. I would get bored and quit, or I would make a dumb mistake and fail. Bit and Labor was the first successful fortress I'd ever done, because it was also the first one where I hid behind airlocks, which seems to be about the only way for me to survive in any of my fortresses, especially with Dion's modding. I swear, that boy has problems. Death Wish. Let's see. What was your most overwhelming moment in a video game? By J. Clar. My most overwhelming moment. I really don't know. There's been a lot of really overwhelming moments. Really, extremely awesome moments that just shocked me or took my breath away. Probably some spoilers here if I can think of the moments. Actually, I think the most overwhelming moment, let me think about I think I can place it. The most overwhelming moment for me, a little bit of spoilers of Final Fantasy 3/6 here. Whenever the world of balance ended, I thought that was the end of the game pretty much. I know that seems ridiculous because at that point in the game you're still a fairly low level. There's not a whole lot you've done, but it was the first time playing through that game. I didn't have strategy guides. I didn't have cheat guides. I didn't have anyone for 100 miles that played that game. I grew up isolated in the countryside, and I was pretty much one of the only gamers that I knew. There was no one I could talk to about that game to give me spoilers or ruin things. It was awesome. So about the time I get to the end of the world of balance, where the floating continent is, got Kefka and the general on there, I had already put in 30 to 40 hours or something like that, so I thought for sure this is the end of the game. It's epic. The statues are here, Kefka's here, we're gonna go do battle with Kefka. And then everything goes down. I make it to the end of the continent, where you jump off onto the airship with just seconds to spare. And the first time I played through, I didn't save Shadow. I didn't know you could. I just got to the end by the skin of my teeth because it was insanely difficult. I wasn't leveled up enough. I pushed through without enough items, so I still wasn't very good at RPGs back then. And whenever I made it to the end, I said, fuck it, let's just go. So I jumped onto the airship, and Shadow died for the rest of the game, which I didn't even know you could save him until I read somewhere later on. I think in a Nintendo Power or something. But just the whole situation where after the world of balance ends, you see the whole world go into hell in a handbasket. Then you wake up on the island all alone. All of your friends are gone. You're being saved by Sid, and he died for me the first time I got there. I wasn't able to feed him properly, and he ended up dying on me, and it was just extremely traumatic as a kid to get there. General Leo, I liked him. He died. Everyone that I seemed to actually like. Of course I liked Shadow, because he was a ninja. He was sneaky. He had a dog companion. He reminded me of Mad Max at the time. And I was extremely sad that he died. It was just a pretty overwhelming and traumatic experience for me at that point, it seemed like, as a child. As ridiculous as that sounds. There were a couple other moments. I think there were a couple in Final Fantasy 2. Whenever you get to the end, this is more spoilers for Final Fantasy 2/4, whenever you get to the end with Golbez, and he says something about loving you as his brother, I think, and then walking off and you go back to Earth. That was extremely traumatic and emotional to me for some reason. I just think that at the time the storytellers working with what they had, they set everything up perfectly. They told the stories perfectly. They did everything right, in my opinion. Those were extremely overwhelming events. Most of my gaming experiences as a child were actually regulated and stuck on consoles. I didn't have a computer of my own until 1998, and my only experience to computers before that point, or whenever I would go over to a friend's house and get to play their games, or whenever I went to my grandpa's house and got to play on my uncle's old Apple Laser 2 that would collect dust, because it was something like 20 years old at the time. But I would put in his old games like Bard's Tale. He had a couple other ones. Knights of Legend, I think, was one, and you would always constantly have to switch discs out. Every 10 minutes you entered a new area. Every time a battle loaded, you'd have to switch 3 discs out. That was my first experience getting into computers. I had to learn basically how to use some DOS commands and stuff like that. That was overwhelming, just learning how to boot up the damn system. Coming from a kid who his only experience before that had been to press a power button on a console to turn it on, and suddenly I'm having to use a keyboard to type in commands. That was extremely overwhelming and traumatic, but beneficial. It's a shame that kids don't have to go through that nowadays. Now they just have to go through questionable DRM, I guess. Oh, Ass Pie is walking around. Who have we been watching? I think that's Osama. He's in disguise right now as a walking ass pie. Got the guard Victor Hark over by the boxing ring, and the boxing legend Andy Doderming. There's the barkeeper, Janelle Dry or Day or something. What's the next question? This is by Mr. Vosier. Will you start that Raider character you said you'll make in Fallout 3 whenever you start doing the roguelike playthroughs in Vegas? I don't believe I'll be able to make a Raider character, but I will do whatever starts that the role-playing alternate start mod has to offer. The only alternate starts that I've seen so far have been to join various factions. So I could start as a Legion member, I could start as a Powder Ganger, I could start as an NCR member, I think I could start as a Brotherhood of Steel member, which would have been extremely useful for Paige. If she had actually found the Brotherhood of Steel. Maybe that's how I'll continue her journey. We'll start her off as an actual Brotherhood of Steel member or something. Okay, the whole station seems to be going to shit. The walls have all turned to space tiles. Interesting times on the space station. Yeah, I'll do whatever character starts the mods offer. I don't create the mods, I just work with whatever the community gives me. They are the tool makers, and I just use whatever tools they provide. I thank all of them for their hard work. I try to credit and cite all of the mods that I use on my blog and the posts. Occasionally I do leave a few out, but I try to remedy that over time as I can. I will update my mod list again completely whenever I start the permadeath characters, because I'm going to be redoing everything and building that list specifically for the permadeath characters. It should be interesting. Let's see. What will be the next Let's Play? By Kiki98. I don't know what the next Let's Play will be. I have a few in mind. A couple old games that I really need to revisit that I said I would. There is one new game that I am going to be starting soon. Jagged Alliance 2. Actually, the walls must be gone because he just ran into space there. Oh, damn it, I got disconnected. Hang on. I'm actually going to end this video and I'll answer these questions whenever I come back then.